Hello everyone, my name's Aloubell and welcome to part 9 of Miraculous Bonds Beyond Fate, my Miraculous Ladybug AU with a different origin story and different other things too. If this video is your first exposure to Bonds Beyond Fate, then please check out the story from the beginning. Return for part 9 when you are ready. For everyone else, sit back, relax, hit that like button for the algorithm, subscribe for more reviews, rants, and rewrites, put the starry eyes emoji in the comments, and enjoy Miraculous Bonds Beyond Fate Part 9. Ladybug swung between buildings and launched herself into the sky, landing on a rooftop. She clenched her fists tightly as her shoulders trembled. It took all of her strength to not cry. Cat Noir wasn't too far behind as he leapt up onto the roof and joined her. Seeing her body trembling, he couldn't help but look sad. "I'm sorry you have to see me like this," Ladybug told him without looking back. I don't handle my emotions well when I'm tired." "You don't have to be sorry. I get it. You're tired and frustrated. I am too," Cat reassured her. "Am I being unreasonable though? Maybe I'm just being a big baby because I can't get what I want. Master Fu is right. We don't understand so much and we just got thrown into this. He knows more about this than we do, so is it okay for us to just demand things from him? I just don't know." "I mean, yeah, there's a lot we don't know, but I'm on your side here. We do need help. We're going against someone who has way more knowledge on the miraculous and who has trained his mind and body for this for years. He's a super villain. Meanwhile, we're just baby heroes." Cat Noir promptly stopped talking when Ladybug shot him a glare. She sighed. "So I am being a baby about this." No, that's not what I meant. We're just severely over our heads with this is all." "Yeah, I think..." Ladybug held her yo-yo and looked down at it. "We're both right. Us and Fu. But that almost doesn't matter if we don't come up with a solution. I don't want to die, Cat." She clenched her fist over the yo-yo. "And I don't want any of our loved ones to die. But I don't know what the right answer is." She thought about the miracle box and the many different powers it holds. She thought about Alya and Nino, and she also thought about Hawkmoth and Master Fu. "I am pretty tired, but..." Cat smiled at her. "I think I have enough energy to keep this up a little while longer as we think about it. We've got the power of youth on our side. Teens have the power to stay up for days studying and doing other things, right? So let's channel that kind of energy, yeah?" Ladybug wiped away a tear as she smirked. "Power of youth? Where did you get that line from?" After a few moments, they both answered, "Alya." "She really is an I'll rest when I'm dead type of person, isn't she?" Ladybug remarked. "She saw me walking in the hallway like a zombie and kept poking my cheek going, 'Where's your youth at? Come on, show me some spirit, Agrest.'" "You should be happy. If Alya wants to be your personal cheerleader, that means she really considers you a friend," Ladybug assured him. "Really? Then I'm glad. But still, you can't just tell a cat to get energetic, you know?" "Please don't tell me you hissed at her and tried to scratch her," Ladybug asked in an exasperated tone. "Of course not. I'm not feral. I simply purred and curled up into a ball at her feet, making her feel super awkward as I slept." "If you actually did something like that, I would have died from secondhand embarrassment. And then you would have died because Alya would have killed you for putting her on the spot like that." The two heroes laughed. "Thanks, Kitty." He looked over at her with curiosity on his face. "For what?" "For making me laugh. I'm really on edge, but you give me a sense of ease. Thank you for that." He smiled at her. "Anytime, milady. We might be two confused heroes, but we're confused together. Just call us the accidental duo." He pulled her into a side hug. "Because we both got our miraculous on accident." "Let's not call ourselves that, and let's not shout to the heavens how underqualified we are for this." Ladybug gently pulled away from him. "I might feel a bit better, but I'm still tired and we still have a problem." She took some steps forward until she reached the edge of the roof. Staring off at the tip of the setting sun and at the lights of Paris igniting across the land, she soon began to pace back and forth along the edge. "We could just go back to Fu every day? You know, annoy him until he budges?" Cat suggested. "I feel like that wouldn't work. He seems like he can tolerate a lot," Ladybug replied as she continued to pace and think. Besides, we don't want to risk him moving to a new location. Do you really think he'd do that just to avoid us? I don't know him well enough to determine that. Several moments of silence followed, during which Ladybug continued to think about things, and Cat tried to come up with solutions as well. The longer the meeting went on, the cloudier their brains got from the lack of sleep. They both wanted to go home and rest, but they knew this needed to be dealt with. Once again, Ladybug thought about Hawkmoth. Gabriel aggressed. He was going to be given the Ladybug Miraculous after working so hard for it. But when he didn't get what he wanted, he felt cheated. He took matters into his own hands and stole 2 of the Miraculous so that he could have the powers to get what he wanted. He betrayed the trust of his father, Master Fu, and he's willing to hurt people, even children, just to get a hold of the Ladybug and Cat Miraculous. He believes what he's doing is right, even though it's so obviously wrong. All for Adrian's mother. All for a better outcome. Ladybug wondered, is it at all possible to do something bad for something good? Can there be such a good outcome for such actions? Or will you always get bitten in the end? Where do you draw the line? Robin Hood stole money to give to the poor. Stealing is bad, but helping those in need is good. Could Robin Hood have just gotten himself a well-paying job and earned the money honestly to help those people? Or was the system so against him that he had no choice but to resort to stealing? Robin Hood is not a villain, but Hawkmoth is a villain. Then, what will I be? Ladybug asked herself. Cat Noir dropped his fist into his opposite hand as he thought of something. Well, how about we... Suddenly, there was a loud commotion coming from several blocks away. Crashes, screams, and general chaos could be heard in flashes of light seen in the distance. So, what are the chances that that is just a movie set we're hearing, along with some really convincing acting? Cat Noir asked. Ladybug sighed. If it were, it would be the most successful and exciting first take in history. But we know better than that. Duty calls. Cat Noir prepared to leap forward when he noticed Ladybug looking off in the opposite direction. You coming? She didn't say anything as she continued to be distracted by something. Ladybug? Huh? Oh, yeah. It's just... There's something important I need to do, she told him. Something important? But there's literally an Akuma attack happening right now. Ladybug grimaced. I know. It's just... Do you trust me, kitty? What? Do you trust me? She asked again. Cat Noir looked into her eyes. He could see the desperate and exasperated need for validation, as well as sense the storm of thoughts weighing her down. His expression softened. Of course I trust you. Then please hold off the enemy as long as you can. I have an idea. And with that, she released her yo-yo and swung off. Cat Noir had an uneasy feeling in his gut, but for the sake of innocent civilians, he had to ignore it and go towards the danger, holding down the fort until his partner returned. Several minutes earlier, Alya was in her room, lying on her bed, staring at the ceiling. She recalled Marinette's misery in keeping whatever secret she was hiding. It was eating her up, not just the fact that she couldn't tell her best friend, but also the thing itself. Something had felt off with her for a few weeks now. When did it begin? She got kind of weird when Adrian first arrived at school. At first, Marinette didn't like him because of his association with Chloe, and then she developed a crush on him after discovering how nice and sincere he was. Okay, so she became a bit of a nervous wreck when she developed her crush. That's not so weird. A lot of people act that way when their crush is involved. But now, Mari and Adrian are friends and seem rather comfortable around each other. Marinette herself even wonders if she still likes him as passionately as she did before. She's behaving more naturally around him, and yet something was still off. Alya closed her eyes and continued to follow her line of thinking. Think, Alya. There's something else going on. Something must have been happening around her. Something else that changed. What happened around the time when the secrets and her flakiness began? She turned her head over to her computer. She hadn't posted anything on her lady blog in a couple of days. Supposedly, the near-death experience and complete bummer of being grounded kind of zapped away a bit of motivation. That wasn't to say that her motivation was gone. No, she still had that fire in her to find out more about Ladybug and Cat Noir and be one of the best journalists ever. Wait, hold on. Ladybug and Cat Noir. Wait, and Hawkmoth too. When did all of that insanity begin? Life used to be relatively quiet until they showed up. The three of them showed up at around the same time. When was that? It hasn't been that long, Alya thought to herself. Now that I think about it, it happened around the time that Adrian enrolled at our school. And didn't Hawkmoth, or some villain, destroy part of Adrian's home? Why would Hawkmoth, or whatever akumatized villain, attack Adrian's home? So far, all of the attacks have been in public, out in the open and where there's a bunch of people. So why go out of the way like that? If Hawkmoth wanted to get Ladybug and Cat Noir's attention, then causing a scene where not many eyes are for the news to spread to them doesn't make much sense. And yet, both of them showed up. That would mean that at least one of them was already close by and knew what was going on. Alya spontaneously sat up as her eyes widened. Hold on. No, it can't be. Okay, calm down, Alya. Don't jump to conclusions. But she dug deep into her brain and thought about some of the superhero comics she's read over the years. Point number 1. All is relatively peaceful in Paris. Point number 2. Adrian arrives at school. Point number 3. Marinette dislikes Adrian. Point number 4. Ladybug, Hawkmoth, and Cat Noir show up. Point number 5. Marinette has a crush on Adrian. Point number 6. Akuma attacks happen more frequently. Point number 7. Marinette goes MIA for a few days. Point number 8. Adrian's home gets attacked by Hawkmoth. Point number 9. Adrian's father goes on a business trip. Point number 10. Marinette and Adrian are suddenly friends. Point 10.2. Marinette doesn't mention to me or Nino that she and Adrian are friends until we see it in person. Point 10.3. They seemed apprehensive to explain how they even became friends. Point number 11. Adrian and Marinette get nervous and super weird whenever Ladybug, Cat Noir, or superheroes get mentioned. Point number 12. Hawkmoth creates even more Akumas. Point number 13. Adrian and Marinette are exhausted. Point number 14. Marinette has a secret that she can't tell me, of all people. Alya's brain was working on overtime at this point, and she was becoming overwhelmed by the evidence. But that can't be right. When the Akuma attacked near our school, Adrian and Mari were hiding in the school when Ladybug and Cat Noir were saving us. But wait, were they actually? Alya remembered that when she and Nino were caught by Miss Bustier, Mari and Adrian were nowhere to be found. And then they suddenly appeared out of nowhere with flimsy stories about where they were hiding. Alya gasped as she jumped from her bed and onto her feet. Oh my goodness. Marinette and Adrian are... A few minutes later, Alya was putting on her shoes and running past her living room. Her mother, who was in the kitchen, took notice. Alya, what are you... Sorry, Mom, major emergency. Marinette has my homework and it's due tomorrow. Don't want to fail, be back in a flash. And without even allowing her mom the opportunity to respond, Alya bolted out of the door. Sprinting down the street, Alya was determined to make it to Marinette's house as soon as possible, but before she even got close, she caught a glimpse of a shape moving quickly in her periphery. She recognized the red, black spotted blur and without thinking, called out, "Marinette!" Caught off guard, the superheroine looked down at Alya, causing her to miss her target with her yo-yo, making her fall to the ground with a thud. Gasping, Alya ran up to the hero and helped her onto her feet. "I'm so sorry if I surprised you. I kind of just blurted that out, didn't I?" Ladybug shook her head. No, you're fine. I shouldn't have allowed myself to get distracted like that. That was totally ungraceful of me." Eyes widening, Ladybug took a step away from Alya and cleared her throat and stuttered. Oh, I know you. You're that reporter girl from the other day, right? Alya, was it? I hope you're staying out of trouble." Alya just proceeded to stare intensely at the girl. Ladybug avoided her gaze. Anyway, are you looking for someone? I heard you say someone's name. Are they lost? Drop the act, Marinette. I know it's you." Ladybug's voice cracked as she let out a squeak. "And don't even try to hide it. Adrian already told me he's Cat Noir, so there's no point in hiding it." "What?" Ladybug's tone became aggravated as she swung her arms out in disbelief. Seriously? I can't believe he actually told you that without talking to me about it first. When did he even tell you? It was when I was asleep, wasn't it? I know he's worried about me, but that's totally crossing the line. With a completely straight face, Alya said, I'm sure it would have crossed the line if it were true, but it's not. Ladybug blinked. What? It was a fib. I tricked you. Alya sighed. Honestly, Mari, you're too gullible, especially for a superhero. That can be dangerous, you know. Eyes widened in disbelief, Ladybug nervously stuttered through a sentence. But you... How? Alya smirked pridefully. Looks like my deduction skills are nothing to sneeze at. 'Tis expected of the #1 journalist in the making. That, plus my undeniable knowledge of you and the superhero genre in general, led to the only logical conclusion of you being Ladybug. Plus, to be honest, you and Adrian are so obvious. You left behind ridiculously large breadcrumbs. Someone was bound to figure it out eventually. That, or I'm a genius. Ladybug let out a deep sigh. Were we really that obvious? Sort of, but hey, you're doing a good enough job that most people haven't caught on yet, so there's that. Ladybug hung her head in embarrassment and shame. Alya's expression softened towards her friend. Well, I'm sure you were headed somewhere important, so I won't keep you. In fact, I'm not quite sure why I ran all the way out here. Ladybug looked up at her friend. I could have easily confronted you about this tomorrow. It's just, when I realized the truth, I instantly felt like you needed me. Like I needed to help out in any way I could. And so, I'm risking being grounded even longer, but overall, I'm glad that, for one, I'm not crazy, and two, that you know I've got your back. She smiled at her. Hearing those words, Ladybug felt warm inside, culminating in tears welling up in her eyes. In that moment, Marinette recalled all of the years of Alya being such a loyal friend. She also thought about her bravery, intelligence, and complete sincerity. Alya, I'm so sorry. Alya shook her head. It's fine. Like I said, I know superheroes, and I know how important it is to keep your loved ones safe, so I'm not mad. In fact, Alya gave a wide grin. It's pretty awesome that my best friend is Ladybug. Actually, now that I think about it, you denied taking a photo with me the other day. Alya, I'm sorry, but there's an Akama attack happening right now. What? Well, don't let me keep you. Go. We'll chat tomorrow. Alya turned Ladybug around and pushed her in the direction she was swinging towards. But, Alya, I need your help. Ladybug slowly turned back to face her friend. My help? What can I do? Call the police? Looking down and away, Ladybug had a guilty expression on her face. I did something questionable. No, I did something completely wrong. It was wrong, but I needed to do it. Maybe with this wrong, I can make a right, even if it doesn't make sense. She began to fidget with her fingers. What did you do? Taking a deep breath, Ladybug gave a hefty exhale. She then reached behind her and took out what looked like a small black jewelry box. What's that? Alya asked. Well, I'm hoping it's something useful. Alya, this is a lot to ask, and I mean a lot to ask, but will you fight alongside me and Cat Noir? What? Wait, what? Inside this box is something called a Miraculous. It's an object that will give you special powers. I have to warn you, though, that if you decide to wear it, you'll be the only one able to activate its abilities until the day you die. You'll be putting your life on the line against villains. Hawkmoth, he doesn't care that we're teenagers. He's really trying to kill us, so I'd understand if you... I'm in. Ladybug blinked and went silent for a moment. She then said, Huh? I said I'll do it. I think you missed the part where I said that you could die. Doesn't that scare you? Of course it scares me. It terrifies me. But... Alya placed her hands over Ladybug's hands in a tender, sentimental way. It scares me more knowing you're off risking your own life when I could be there making things a bit easier for you. Alya, Look, I know that you and Cat Noir are exhausted, and now I see why. Alya winked at her. So let your friendly neighborhood Alya take some of that load off. Besides, being a superhero sounds awesome. And did you say that this was a miraculous? I'm so excited to learn more about it. Heck yeah, I'm in. Can't let you and Blondie show me up now, can I? She calmed down a bit. In all seriousness, I care about you, Nino, my family, my other friends, and Adrian. I can't just sit by knowing their lives are in danger because of some butterfly-flinging jerk. So let me do something about it. Alya, thank you. Ladybug smiled while wiping away a tear. She then cleared her throat and straightened her posture, properly presenting the miraculous box. Alya Césaire, I present to you this miraculous. Will you use it for the greater good, protect others, and fight against evil? With a salute, Alya declared, You can count on me. She then reached out and took the small box into her hand. When she opened it, she saw a pendant in the shape of a curled foxtail. Taking it out, she saw that it was attached to a chain. It's a necklace? Ladybug nodded. Each miraculous appears to be a piece of jewelry holding mysterious powers. Mine are my earrings. Oh wow, so that's where those earrings came from. Alya began to put the necklace on. What kinds of powers will this give me exactly? To be honest, I'm not quite sure. I sort of just picked it at random, Ladybug told her in a quiet voice. Alya blinked. You what? But just before she can get a response, the moment Alya clicked the necklace into place around her neck, a bright yellow light shot out from it and formed into a glowing sphere that floated before her. Looking at it in awe, Alya saw the sphere's light dim and take the new shape of a small fox-like creature. Hey there, the creature said to Alya. Alya's eyes lit up. Ooh, a small floating animal mascot. Very anime. I approve. The creature looked confused. I'm not quite sure what that means, but you sound excited, so I'll assume it's a good thing. In any case, my name is Trix, and you seem a bit young to be wielding a miraculous. He then looked around the area, and this doesn't seem like the environment I was expecting. Where in Asia are we? Asia? No, you're in Paris, France, Alya told him. Paris? How odd. I guess that explains the Eiffel Tower. Wow, so you know about the Eiffel Tower? And you know about France too? How old are you? Are you from this world? What are you exactly? If little animal creatures come out of the miraculous, I guess that explains the animal/creature theme that all of the superheroes have going on. Alya could barely contain her excitement. You could practically see the stars in her eyes. Huh, young and inexperienced. How very strange. Still, I appreciate your passion, and it certainly seems you're revved up and ready to go. I like a strong spirit. Trix smiled at her. By the way, I didn't catch your name. Oh, I'm Alya Césaire. Nice to meet you, Trix. Ladybug stepped in. Alright, so I know this meeting is super sweet and exciting, but we're kind of in the middle of an emergency, so if you could shorten anything you're gonna say, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Trix looked surprised when he saw her. The Ladybug Miraculous is here too? And you're also very young. Yes, and the Black Cat Miraculous Wielder is currently defending the city and himself against a villain created by the Butterfly Miraculous Wielder, so we really gotta go, Ladybug said in a rush. Seriously? Huh, I really missed a lot, Trix said. Why is it such a big deal that we're young? Alya asked. Young and inexperienced, Trix corrected. Potential wielders usually train a good chunk of their lives learning about the miraculous and training their bodies in the secret arts. In doing all this, they become disciplined and knowledgeable about what they'll be stepping into. That, and adults are more capable of utilizing us Kwami's abilities to their full extent. When you're as young as you are, your magical muscles are weak, so to speak. So even if you fully know what you're doing, you won't be able to perform as impressive feats as you would as an adult. That's why I'm so surprised that you two, and I'm assuming the Black Cat Wielder, were chosen at such young ages. You all must be exceptional. Ladybug just chuckled nervously. How curious it is, though, that you don't know any of this, Trix added. Alya grinned at him. Well, we'll have plenty of time to learn since it sounds like you and I are in it together for the long haul, Trix. But I can tell my girl Ladybug is getting antsier by the minute, so if you could tell me how I can use your powers, that would be much appreciated. Trix nodded. Got it. I am the Kwame of illusion, so with my help, you'll be able to create any illusion with Mirage. Creating illusions? Sounds pretty sweet. Is it hard to do? Not at all. As long as you believe you can do it, then you'll be able to do it. Within reason, of course. As I mentioned, you won't be able to make as elaborate illusions as you would as an adult, but with time and exposure to the power, you'll be able to. Ladybug blinked in confusion. Wait, believing in yourself, it's not about skill? As long as you are aware of what your power is and have confidence that you can do it, then that's all you need. I'm surprised Tiki didn't tell you. Ladybug blushed and scratched her cheek. She might have mentioned something about it, but when we met, I was so freaked out that I didn't process a lot of what she said. Screams and the sounds of objects breaking could be heard off in the distance. Ladybug looked on towards the direction of the commotion and had a concerned, uneasy expression. That's our cue, Trix, Alya exclaimed. Right. All you need to do is say, let's pounce, and when you're finished doing what you need to do, say, let's rest. Alya nodded. Trix, let's pounce. Trix's body thinned and spiraled into the pendant on the necklace. Alya's body was then consumed by an orange light. When the light died down, she was revealed to be in a fox-themed hero outfit, and her hair dyed reddish and hung up in a ponytail with white tips. Looking down and inspecting herself, Alya's grin widened. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's go, Ladybug yelled out as she threw her yo-yo and swung towards the direction of the chaos. Alya leapt and followed behind her. But until next time, that's all there is. There isn't any more.